I know you do logo design, you do brand designs, you do illustrations, right? You do quite a number of branch of design. Why product design? Why exactly did you choose to major in product design?
I joined product design because of money. I've met people who just started their design career 2 years back. Who for 2 years, not 20 years, not 22 years. 2 years back. When you see their design, you think this person has been designing for like 10 years. The senior designer, for the most part, usually understands the business as much as they understand design. A senior designer is not necessarily one who does clean designs. That's my point. If you are not in Nigeria, if you change your environment and you go outside, you realize that senior designers are literally interns. Son, what is all this you're bragging for? Look at your design. Are you proud of it? I mean, are you proud of it?
Oh my.
Hello everyone, LeyeConnect here, and you are listening to Designstration podcast with Ufot Obon, the trackpad user. Design plus illustration equal Designstration. Welcome on board.
Thank you to our sponsor, Simplified UX, for sponsoring this episode. Are you a designer looking to improve your design skills? Or do you already have commendable design skills, but you somehow don't know your stance in design theories? Or have you ever wished for a questionnaire that could help you test your design knowledge? That's where Simplified UX comes in. Simplified UX is your best bet at testing your design knowledge. Simplified UX is a platform that aims at helping designers to be more knowledgeable in what they do, as well as improving their design skills. If you've ever wished for a questionnaire that could help you test your design knowledge, simply log on to simplifiedux.com to join a pool of design talents who are actually polishing their design skills and knowledge. Interestingly, there are actually recruiters on Simplified UX who can actually notice your skill and help you learn good design rules. Simply log into app.simplifiedux.com and use my discount code DSP25 to get a 25% discount when you subscribe. Link in the description below. Hello everyone, you're welcome to another episode on the Designstration podcast. My name is Ufot Ubon and I am your host for this very podcast. In the previous episodes, we've had conversations ranging from creative writing to illustrations and, some brand designs aspect as well. But today specifically, we're going to be majoring this very episode on all things product designs. And if you agree with me, you would also know that designing products, physical products for different audience can be very tasking, right? Outside aesthetics and functionality, there are other nitty-gritties that come together to make this product more friendly and welcoming that produces, in general, a very good user experience for the audience. And I have searched and searched and scouted and searched, and I have actually found the right and the very best candidates who can actually dissect this topic for us. And it's no other person than the incredible Ogunsanya Oyeleye, popularly known as LeyeConnect. Leye, it's a privilege to have you on here. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you, Ufot Ubon. I'm very grateful. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and to talk about product design. I don't take it for granted. So let's jump right in.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's just briefly tell us your background. Who are you? What do you do as a product designer in general?
Okay, so I'm a product designer. I'm lead designer at Risevest. Background or bio or a blend of both? Let me not run ahead.
A blend of both.
I'm a product designer at Risevest. I'm equally the lead design at Risevest, working with incredible talent. Some of them you know, some of them you don't. I mean, some of them are active online, some of them aren't. Also, independent contractor, lead design. Did that for Maker Studio, Rwanda. Independent contractor, illustration and design, logo design, brand development, mid digital, Island, co-founder, designer at OU Studio. Ran that, made some bucks. I think I'm doing the introduction backwards, and then currently run a community of designers where we sort of take classes sometimes in a week, and that's generally it. I mean,
That's great. Leye is actually an incredible fellow. I have connected with him quite a couple of times offline, and he's indeed an incredible fellow. Leye, I know you're a product designer. I mean, I think that's the phase quite a number of persons know you for. And in the most simplest term, how would you define product design?
Okay, so product design is, for the most simplest part, translating an idea that is intended to solve a problem into a product that people would use. So let me say it again. It's translating an idea that is intended to solve a problem into a product or into a form that people can use, a digital form that people can use. So it's usually translating an idea that, for the third time, that is intended to solve a problem into a digital form. That's the product that people can use. So that's the whole process around, and I hope it is as encompassing as possible around product design for the most part.
And just so we don't get to say a product designer is someone who translates a problem, right? It just so we don't say that, how would you best define product designer? Who a product designer is?
A product designer is, I would call him a coach who helps a business translate their vision into reality while accounting for the customers that have to be served. Now that's complex, but in a very simple term, a product designer is the person who coordinates the whole of those processes and actively is engaged in it. Actively engaged in the sense that he's also doing the design. So that's like a simple form for it.
That's great. Is there a process in product design in general?
Yes, there's a very documented academic process. So I'm going to talk about the documented and academic process and the realistic process. And I hope I don't get cancelled. But the documented process is usually the whole processes of, you receive your brief. After I've done your brief, sometimes you do the user experience. There's usually is either acquiring an existing knowledge of your market in the brief. And so they're assuming that you understand the market or the target audience or the total addressable sector or the market that you're dealing with. You understand your personas well enough. And then from there, you do the wireframing, you do the low fidelity, the high fidelity, you do the prototyping, and then you push it for development. That's after approval. That's like the academic process to it. If you are not approaching it with existing knowledge of your personas, then you do your user experience study first. You sort of study the addressable market. I'm saying study the addressable market because I made one terrible error. I've mentioned it a lot of times where I designed a very fine product. It was meant to be onboarded in a banking app. Be careful around the NDA now. So it was meant to be embedded in a banking app, only for me to realize that the font size, which is great for my own kind of audience, the faint background, also for my kind of audience with my kind of eye, is terrible for adults. And it's meant to go into the pension section of the banking app, only for me to realize that most adults cannot see clearly. It was not a matter of the typeface, it was a matter of the font size. And so it was a terrible lesson for me to learn that. Just reduce all the fanfare around the design, make it plain, make it flat, increase the contrast as much as possible. So that was a very hard lesson, a very cold lesson. Why? Because I realized that I did not design with the context of the markets that this app is going to be bundled into together. So yes, that's the academic process. The unacademic process, or what is obtainable most times, is quite I don't want to use the word convoluted, yes, but yes, I think that's the best word to use. It usually is a snaky path, not necessarily a straight path with stops along the way. Sometimes the work is ready. Your own product design side is just to wear a skin on it. I mean, the technology is ready. The technology for the actual work in its unrefined state is ready. So all you are doing is accounting for all the way it works, the touch points, the partner sections, the pop-ups, and then you are designing around those constraints. And that's what most fintechs in Nigeria is about. So very, very rarely do you do usability study or behavioral analysis and all of that you learn in your UX classes. For the most part, you are designing around technological constraints because the technology you are going to stack up on from your company is already ready. And all they need you to do most times is just to design around that constraint. So that's the process for most designers in Nigeria, most product designers in Nigeria. You are just given a brief. The technology is available, spin something up. So you are not necessarily going through the process of, yes, you may still incorporate the academic process of wireframe, but I mean, every business in Nigeria, every fintech business in Nigeria is, whether they know it or not, in an existential state. So one thing they grapple with is time. They don't have so much time for you to be going through the whole, I want to take 1 week for ideation, I want to take 2 weeks, there. Tomorrow night, something should be ready. So yes, that's the proper route and the obtainable route to the process of product design.
Interesting. There was one time you were on a Twitter space, and I can't remember what space it was, but you mentioned something about you pivoted into product design, like you sort of majored in product design for a while. And I know you do logo design, you do brand designs, you do illustrations, right? You do quite a number of branch of design. Why product design? Why exactly did you choose to major in product design?
I know one day they will find me out. I had a feeling one day this day will come. Like I had a feeling this day will come. So yes, I jumped product design because of money.
I know exactly that was the answer. That was exactly the thing you said on that space.
Okay,
that it was because of the money.
Like no. Only that on the space, I don't think it was recorded. I don't know if it was recorded, but this one we live on the internet and people were like, it's so shallow. But yeah, not explicitly for money, but implicitly for money. Now let me explain why I said that. I started realizing the whole science of product design caught my fancy. And when I was working for Mid Digital, when I would like do design for them and send it, I saw a product design they did and they needed me to do branding for. Wear a skin on top of it. Not wear a skin generally, but make illustrations for. And I saw the design and I'm like, this is neat. It was quite different from what I've been seeing on the internet. So I think that was where my interest got properly formed and sparked. And I'm like, I'm going to learn this. So that was my inroad into it. I had vested interest. Why? Because I saw how neatly the buttons were placed, how the forms were clean and all. And of course, they did not notice. I mean, the person who, my direct report who gave it to me, didn't notice all of that. I was the one who did that. And that was the beginning of my interest in product design. And then I delved into it. But I delved into it just to feed my curiosity, just to to slake that test of, let me see what this thing is all about. And after delving into it, I didn't take it too seriously until someone did that to me on Twitter and said, I saw one of the stuff you posted. I'd like to do this kind of design for me. Does that make sense? And when I saw the amount he was asking me to receive, he was begging me to take the amount. I said, okay. Is this how much you guys are paying product designers? Yes. I mean, it was a very pivotal moment for me that. And another thing is I realized I use a lot less of creative effort. Now, I don't mean this derogatorily to product designers. I'm a big fan. But I just realized that graphic design is an empty canvas without rules. Product design is an empty canvas with rules. The rule sort of reduces the degree of creativity you want to apply. You can't place a button above where the touch zone is. I don't know if I'm confusing you. This is my phone. If I hold on to my phone, I'm right-handed. My thumb region is around the base of the phone. And no matter how big the phone, there's a thumb region. There's a place where your hand automatically interacts with. And that's why if you notice on, sorry, this is not a product class. If you notice on Instagram Reels, all the action and CTAs and functionalities are all located at the lower right. Because if you hold it with your right hand, that's where your thumb is, and your thumb is where you take action. The same with TikTok. So they all have understood how human beings behave. So they are like rules that define how you engage with this product. There's also thought target and thought zones. Like you don't go lower than 40 pixels. So there are like set rules for this thing if you are going to design by standard. And so it sort of makes your work easy. It makes working with templates sort of ethical to an extent. There's nothing bad about it. Why? Because there are already rules governing these things. So most products relatively are following the same pattern. But graphics design, oh boy, your creativity has to be authentic. It is not, you can only survive on borrowed creativity for long. When I mean borrowed creativity, just duplicating what other people are doing. At some point, you have to start to infuse everything you have taken together to do something original. You can't be a fraud in that industry for too long. They'll find you out. They'll find you out. And that's why it's easy to notice patterns when someone is doing graphic design. When you see it, you can tell that, no, this person design, this is how he does it, that's how he does it. That person has been reusing some of his elements for so long. Graphic design is creatively draining. That's why I just sort of took two steps back. And brand design can be very demanding. So you are doing the icon. I do full blown. I do icon illustration and then the brand asset. And all this money put together, or probably it was my own pricing strategy that wasn't good enough. But all this money put together then was like half the money I'm being paid just to do product design. So I had an epiphany of making more money. And then I just took a sharp pivot. But the good thing is that as much as I pivoted into product design, I did not let go of. So it was not the either or. It was a together with. So I didn't let go of brand design at all. Only that a lot of people don't know me now as brand design. I just know it was product design. Brand design, yes. If I would say so myself without appearing cocky, yes. I was pretty good at it. The people I worked for over there commended me over and over again. Sakpa also was my Sakpa was a very strong motivation.
Sakpa can also be a motivation to creativity. That's great. That's great. I actually feel that that's one part of the story that not that very many people know. I was actually surprised the day I heard it on that space when you were talking about it. Like, wow. So, of course, I actually knew you as a logo designer. I think that was probably 2018 or 2019.
Absolutely.
Probably 2020. Something of that age. That was when I first saw you. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Does the general design thinking process apply to product design, or does product design has its own streamlined, well curated, so to speak, design thinking process?
I'd say this is where I might become contentious with my point of view, but I'll spill it out either ways. As much as I said graphic design can be creatively draining, like you can't fake it. It is not just arranging things and keeping it aligned and say you are done. You have to spark interest. You see, it's like, I would say graphic design is like a pretty girl. If you are not pretty, you are not pretty. You can't command attention.
Yeah.
But graphic design can be a pretty girl that is foolish. Hold on. But you see, UI UX is, she does not necessarily have to be pretty, but she must be intelligent. It is practically impossible for her to say there are a lot of products today, it's just like graphic design, literally. A lot of products are just pretty, but they are not functional. There's no point to it. That's why I said, if you remember my definition, I said product design is, you are transforming an idea that is intended to solve a problem. You are not just doing the idea for idea's sake. For graphic design, most times you are trying to just communicate. It is one directional. You are trying to communicate in an engaging manner. And that communication most times is one-off. one-off or for a very limited period of time. But when you're dealing with product design, you are designing something that you are hoping would be used for a sustained period of time. I mean, people have been using GTB app for a long time. They're not designing to be used for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. They are designing to be used by people of different segments, sector, orientation, age group for a long time. So it is not their poster designs, it is not their graphic designs. I dare say even sometimes they rebrand just to evolve with the time. It's to let you know how things can be changing, but their message most times remain the same. But product design, okay, maybe I'm a bit biased, requires a great deal of intelligence. I mean, if you're talking to a brand designer, they would argue either way, otherwise. But yeah, I'll say product design requires a great deal of intelligence because you are not just designing things that are static, flat, and just up there in the face and creating emotional responses. You are creating something someone will use, something someone might put his life funds in or his pension funds in, his life savings.
Yeah.
You are, in fact, going to be, if you are not careful about how you go about it, you probably may be very, if you are careless with how you handle your product, you may not just lose customers, you may kill customers. There was one funny gist I was having with a friend a long time ago where I was saying the engineering had a problem with what's it called? The balances on people's app. It was a fintech that was trying to hold people's money for pension. They were trying to optimize for wealth fund and all, to be a wealth fund. And I think 3 zeros were missing on everybody's balances. Someone who was hypertensive woke up in the morning, checked his app, saw what was there, and just passed on. I mean, gone too soon.
Wow.
So you sometimes don't lose customers. You end up literally losing customers. I mean, literally. I mean, the person is lost. So product design requires, especially when the product design is in fintech space, you can't. The rules may be there on the surface level, but when it comes to your USP, what's your moat or your tough? I mean, based on the organization you're working for, what sets you guys apart? What gives product design its own niche is that some sort of intelligence has to be displayed. You really meet product designers that are not smart. You can't. So the thing about being a graphic designer is your creativity has to be on a hyper level. I mean, it's self-evident. We see them always on the timeline. But being a product designer, your intelligence, you have to display brilliance and intelligence. I know they are not the same thing, but yes, I'll say brilliance when it comes to design, intelligence when it comes to understanding how the design should go about. I don't want to just go in the way of semantics and confuse the prospective people who see this video. But like brilliance in how you present the design, intelligence in how you go about the whole process and stuff. Accounting for human errors, accounting for the fact that this person may mistakenly click delete and he may not mean it. Accounting for the fact that you want to intentionally introduce friction so that it should not just be easy to withdraw your money easily without notifying you through email and stuff, without asking for your PIN, without asking you to confirm PIN in some instances, without asking that I want to use your authentication app. If we don't do it like that, if we don't introduce friction in those instances where money is about to leave the platform, anybody that roots your phone will probably be able to withdraw. And it's because the withdrawal process is seamless, it will take time before you notice. Now, like third-party fraud, understanding how fraud goes hand in hand with your design, like understanding how fraud can happen, the loopholes in the design, how a lot of people are bad actors and will take advantage of. Like there's a lot of qualitative thinking that has to happen in your process. So you can't fake being intelligent as a product designer just as much as you can't fake being thoroughly creative as a graphic designer. So those are like the pros and cons.
Wow, that's pretty much detailed. I love the examples you also brought about. It's pretty much detailed. There's something I want you to clear for us, right? Aside the pronunciation and aside, the different way it's spelled, if there is any, is there a difference between a product designer and a UI UX designer?
Okay, I think it's a matter of semantics. It's like saying, is there a difference between engineering team and developers or engineers and developers? Yes, there is, but most times we just use them interchangeably. So most times, some product designers actually design physical products.
Okay.
Like they design actual products you interact with. They craft it out. They go into Blender and design the product itself. And then UI UX is primarily digital, user interface, user experience. They most times and most likely don't do physical product design, like designing in Blender, designing in Spline. That's how I perceive it. And so but in Nigeria it is used interchangeably, just like everywhere else. Let's say product designers, they are all products at the end of the day. Some products are digital, some products are physical. But I can say product designer can be both, but you are a designer doing product design, like doing actual physical product design, no longer just UI UX. It's now product, because you are designing what people can, the six senses can interact with or engage with.
That's interesting. I like the way you put it. Who heavily determines the design direction, the product design direction of a particular product? Is it the client? Is it the audience? Is it, the target audience? Is it the designer? Who really influences and clouds the judgment when making decisions for the direction of a product to be designed?
This question is tricky. It's tricky not because I don't have an answer, because the answer is multifaceted, it's contextual. The answer is like a bunch of banana. They are all valid. And it's just, I have to present it like that. So in an ideal case, the users.
Okay.
The users. In an ideal case, again, just take note of what I'm saying. In an ideal case, the users determine. We were meant to run a loan recovery design. I even started the initial work. So it was the platform is to help the microfinance bank that was giving out loans to farmers, help them to be proactive, not reactive. So it's not when people are defaulting on loan you start to go after them. You start to notice patterns of people who are likely to default on loan before they default on loan. So by seeing how much they pay back monthly, if you are seeing someone that has missed 2 monthly payment plan out of 12, you already know that this person is likely to default. And so you start taking necessary steps. Now, I was already starting to design beautiful interfaces, not knowing that the farmers who are going to use this don't have smartphones. For most of them, they were using GSM lines, like they did not have smartphones. So what we have to design for them is a process for USSD code for them to run their payments, not an app for them to install. Because majority of them were USSD. So understanding that just changed the entire direction for me, that if they are going to make repayment, they are not making repayment on the platform or on the website. It has to be run on USSD codes. So my design was for USSD code flow. So that really gave me insight into how you cannot just design independent of your users. It's practically impossible. But when your users sort of check multiple lines, boxes, and use basic technologies like this, the miniaturization of technology has made access and affordability of devices very easy. So largely everybody is on a smart device these days. So that sort of levels them. At that instance, after you have factored it in, your Oga decides the direction. So, I know it's not ideal, but again, I'm not supporting the bourgeoisies, or the feudal lords, but sometimes it's not entirely wrong. Sometimes there's a vision of the product they have, and as much as it might be unpalatable for us and for our ego as designers, and sometimes like an insult on our professionalism and ability, which I suffer from too from time to time, they only can effectively translate their vision into the product. So sometimes you are only brought in to execute the vision, not necessarily that they need your input. If they need your input, it will be on low-hanging fruits, not on the core products. When I mean low-hanging fruit, probably button color, and then if those things are not set, there's no brand guideline existing, probably why and all. So it's like a co-pilot kind of relationship. The authority is shared on decision making. So, but generally in an ideal situation, the users followed by the owner or your Oga at work, like your boss, and then finally you are the one who puts you are the one who's doing the design. So you get to sort of make some design decisions and you defend it depending on where you work. But for most part, the users, it is in very rare occasion which is becoming obtainable here in India, that is just your guy doing the whole decision from get go. Like he is both the user and the decision maker. That's a very not ideal situation. I don't subscribe to that one, sir.
That was a very, you played the safe zone card, and that
I
was,
did.
and yet it was still very richly packed, and truly, yes, I love how you do it. This one is quite one of those controversial subject we get to see every now and then on the internet amongst designers. And who or what is responsible for determining or setting the benchmark for junior designers, mid or intermediate designers, and senior product designers, right? Who is responsible or what is responsible for determining this factor?
The good thing is I'm on a digital break. I'm detoxing, so I can speak freely. I mean, I will just lock my account after this recording. But I mean, I'll speak without filter.
Okay.
I'm grateful this question came up. I'm sure that I didn't see it in the list of questions you sent, but yeah, I'm grateful this question came up. I'm grateful for two reasons. I remember someone said it is not like there was an argument on YouTube, and the thing about YouTube is that the real juice of whatever video you are watching is in the comment section. Like when you have done seeing the video, just go to the comment section. You realize you are doing people far smarter, far funnier, and sometimes crazier than the person who owns the actual account you are watching the video from. So someone said it is not the distance, it's the mileage. It's not about the distance traveled, but the mileage. Sorry. It is not about how long you have owned the car, rather, but the mileage of the car. Sorry. How much mileage is the car cover? Not necessarily how long has the car been with you, or how long has it been in your garage. I was watching a car review video. It was a different thing entirely. So the person saying things to consider when to buy a car. How long has the car been with the person? The person is saying it's not how long has the car been with the other person you want to buy from. It is how much distance has that car, like the mileage, how much distance has it covered? That's what that concerns. It's like it has been with you 4 years, 5 years, and all. And there are some cars that have been in people's garage. The person has not used it for more than 3-4 times. And there are some cars that have been with people for like a year, but the distance that car has covered is crazy. Yeah. So I want to borrow that example to explain this.
Okay.
I'm starting to see that. Now, I'm not going to play it safe. I'm just going to answer as unfiltered as possible. I met someone who has been designing for the past 22 years. I mean, he was part of the earliest people that work in a bank. Like part of the earliest people that worked in a bank. We met at Abuja, and when I saw his designs, they were not adding up. They were not reinforcing all the landmarks he said he had. I'm like, are this design old or they are recent? He said, no, this was just a day last week that he's trying to help some new folks who just joined another bank, a red logo bank, not GTB by the way, take from another logo bank, yes. And he wants to show them the in and out. And I was looking at the design, I'm like, so that kind of person, you can't call him a junior designer. By the reason of the number of years he has been designing alone puts him shoulder above everybody. For two striking reasons. He has deep insight into how the bank works. Like he does. About how banking apps work. He does.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from him. But when it comes to raw skill sets, I hope he doesn't see this video. He's like a 4/10. Raw skill sets, like design. Let me see you do product design. It's a 4/10. Like there are some basic things I think 22 years should have covered. Like alignment, like let me not go too deep. So I met various persons like so they don't specifically know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Raw skill sets, it wasn't. So that person is senior designer, no doubt, but he is more of a manager than an IC. IC is individual contributor. Individual contributors are incredibly good professionals who usually don't lead the team, but they are like authorities in the team. They're like their opinions are weighty. When they say, I don't think we should do this, most times the manager doesn't want to. So they're called MICs. They are people who have demonstrated competence and contribution in an industry or various industry over the years. So I would consider him more of a manager, a design team manager. Design team managers, I don't place them under the responsibility of they have to know how to design most times, just know how to coordinate and understand people. But for him, I would consider him more of a manager than an IC from what I saw. But you can't take away the fact that he's a senior designer. You can't take that away from him. Now, having said that, the criteria with which I would judge him a senior designer is first the years he has used, and second, the demonstrated contribution that he has done. So you can't take those two away from him. Now, I've met people who just started their design career 2 years back. Who for 2 years, not 20 years, not 22 years. 2 years back. When you see their design, you think this person has been designing for like 10 years. They have the rate that person consumes. I mean, I've seen them on the time now. We knew people who just started designing some years back and where they are now. Consume information at a very fast pace. It's incredibly nice to see how far they have come. And so now it's not a matter of how long has the car staying in your garage. It's a matter of how much mileage has that car done. Yeah, so you see people who have done a lot of product in the space of 2 years. Granted, it still might not have a robust understanding of the industry or of even design as much as the person who has worked 22 years. But if you take those two people out and show just their work, and they ask you that who would you consider a senior designer? Everybody will literally say the guy with more crispier work. But it is possible the guy with the crispier work is more of a mid-level or junior designer than a senior designer. The senior designer, I'm coming to all of these ramblings. I'll put them all together. The senior designer, for the most part, usually understands the business as much as they understand design. The business itself, as much as they understand design. And for good reasons that I might not be able to mention the reasons, they are also able to work with greater constraints than a regular designer would. And another thing I would strongly say is that they have demonstrated contribution. Like they know, they are the kind of people who, once they see a design, they can tell that this thing won't fly. And it won't fly. It's fine, but it won't fly. And they're already giving you use cases you did not account for. You couldn't have accounted for those use cases because you do not have the experience. It's quite impossible. So they have made a lot of mistakes. I mean, and so when they see some designs, they'll be like, the trend may change, but the people who are using it don't change. The fundamentals around them don't change. So a senior designer is not necessarily one who does clean designs. That's my point. All this my rambling is to come to the point of, if you look at a senior designer, for most part, it's not people who do clean design. People who do clean design, I would effectively box them into the taxonomy of mid-level and junior. The people who don't really do design for the most part, but are able to help coordinate design teams, look at the design and tell if the design will fly, and are able to look at the design and tell you that this design is trend, it will go out fast. I can only categorize them into senior design, and they usually have grown with the company. They have vested understanding. I mean, they have proven understanding of the sector if their business or their workplace is in, for the most part. So I will not make the error of saying a senior designer is one who does clean design. No. As per the number of years do they need to take to become senior designer, maybe I may not look at years. I might just look at proven track record. Just maybe I might not look at years, because design is quite unstructured. The problem with trying to place structure in it is where it all breaks away. I'm saying it breaks away because it is not neatly classified into cadres like civil servants. You have to have worked 5 years before you can be promoted. You have to have worked. Someone who started design 2 years ago that demonstrates competence and contribution, proven competence and contribution, can accelerate his design career faster than someone who has been there for the past 10 years. So it's usually hard to neatly classify based on years. It's hard, especially for an unstructured field like design. When I say unstructured, the promotion and pattern growth, exception may be for big organizations like Google and Microsoft. they have properly laid out paths to becoming a VP of design. You can't jump those steps. But for most places, even in the US, the UK, and even in Africa here, it's usually not really classifiable. Now, the flip side. Now, I've explained senior designer, and I hope that as much as I did a lot of ramblings, you can make sense of everything I said. Now, let's talk about mid-level junior. The problem I'm seeing is it's a problem of semantics, tags. We like tags. I mean, someone who started designing well and realized that people like his design a lot can just suddenly wake up one morning and start to accord himself mid-level designer. That's it. Like, don't call me junior designer again. I shall no longer identify as junior designer again. And boom, he starts to call himself mid-level designer. And that person may not be wrong. That is what makes it tricky. That's why I say I'm going to talk in such an unfiltered manner. So, if you have made it to this part of the video, I congratulate you. But let me explain this part clearly. And the part I want to explain clearly is, the reason why I said that person may not be wrong. If in a class of 10 students, someone comes back home and says, I came back 7th position, will you be happy?
Yeah. No.
Typical Nigerian parent. No. Now, in another class, probably that's JSS2A. Now, JSS2B, someone in a class of another 10 students comes back home with 2nd grade, like is the 2nd in the class, 2nd position. Will you be happy?
Yeah. Well, yeah, to some extent,
But this is where it becomes tricky. The person who scored 7th position, it may be that from the 1st position to the 2nd position to the 7th position is just a difference of 1 over 100. The first person scored 100 over 100. The person who took 2nd position scored 99, and the person who took 7th position scored 93. But because they are not more than 10 and they have to follow the order of score, you are the 7th.
Yes.
The person is finding himself in an area where he's dealing with competencies that are equal to or greater than his.
Yes.
Now, but the person who came 3rd the person who comes first in his own class may score 50. The person who came 2nd may score 40, and him probably 35, and the rest failed woefully. But I mean, he's still the 3rd person who came highest.
Yeah.
So you see how so if that person gets home, they'll say, "What's your score?" Sorry, what's your position? He says what?
Position.
3rd.
Yeah.
If they ask the other person what's your position, he says what? 7.
7.
But 7. Sorry. But by the time you check the actual score, by actual score, who is worthier to be called the 3rd position? Who is worthier to be called the 7th position? You switch it.
You have to switch it. Yes.
That's the point. That's the classic example of what goes on, especially in Nigeria. The person you are comparing yourself with that makes you consider yourself a senior designer is probably just starting design. If you are not in Nigeria, if you change your environment and you go outside, you realize that senior designers are literally interns. Some. Baba, you still need work to do. You still need work to be done with your design process. Not even junior. They are usually interns somewhere. So if you increase the standard with which the yardstick with which you measure your design competence, you probably will not be in a hurry to use tag on yourself. So that's my answer. And that answer applies to both mid-level and junior. A lot of people tag themselves by mid-level and senior. And if you ask me, your journey is just barely starting. You don't need all these titles. Sort of change your environment. If not, if you're only around people who are barely starting design, or people you are teaching design and don't know jack about design, they'll tell you, they will hype you to the moon. And I don't trust Nigerian designers like gassing you up. Bro, you can post nonsense on the internet. Someone will tell you. I saw a comment. Someone said, all up on flames. If that means I said, what is all up on flames? I saw the comment first before, and I followed the person. I saw the comment. So I had to click to open the tweet that he was commenting on that. And then I realized, people are not telling this guy the truth. All up on flames, babu. But I mean, people would gas you up, and there's nothing like false consensus. There's nothing more dangerous than false consensus, where everybody is telling you what you anticipate to hear, not what you need to hear. is dangerous because it sets you up in a bubble. You are confident in your skill, but your skill is still at a subpar level. So you are more confident. You are more confident than your ability. So when people see you design, they'll be like, "Why is this all? What is all this you're bragging for? Look at your design. Are you proud of it? I mean, are you proud of it?"
Oh my.
but generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole tagging becomes easier on us on the unit level, on an individual level, once we constantly remind ourselves that the yardstick you are using to call yourself a tag is far more important than the tag. It's like saying the environment with which you benchmark your design skills against is a very determining factor. If it's by Nigerian standard, every one of us are senior designers. Again, a lot of people become senior designer based on the environment that they work. At your workplace, someone has to take the lead. At your workplace, someone has to take the lead. So they just slap it on you. But you know, in your heart of heart, when you go outside, that you put your ID card in your back pocket. Are you a designer? Yes. Are you a senior designer? That thing you call me first. I'm a designer. Leave the senior or let's leave that I'm a designer. So but when you enter your office, like when you enter the gate of your office, wear it back on with pride. I'm the designer.
Okay. That was great. That was super great. I love the way you handled it, and I love the way you broke the table and used the table's feet to make firewood. We shall hear of thy sayings on the timeline. Thank you to our sponsor, Simplified UX, for sponsoring this episode. Are you a designer looking to improve your design skills? Or do you already have commendable design skills, but you somehow don't know your stance in design theories? Or have you ever wished for a questionnaire that could help you test your design knowledge? That's where Simplified UX comes in. Simplified UX is your best bet at testing your design knowledge. Simplified UX is a platform that aims at helping designers to be more knowledgeable in what they do, as well as improving their design skills. If you've ever wished for a questionnaire that could help you test your design knowledge, simply log on to simplifiedux.com to join a pool of design talent who are actually polishing their design skills and knowledge. Interestingly, there are actually recruiters on Simplified UX who can actually notice your skill and help you learn good design rules. Simply log into app.simplifiedux.com and use my discount code DSP25 to get a 25% discount when you subscribe. Link in the description below. What are some important details that, if left out during the product design process, indefinitely it will bring about a bad user experience?
I will be inheriting a lot of knowledge from fintech. So my answer may be narrow-minded. And I'm sorry I'm using narrow-minded, just for lack of it. It could be one-sided, loose-sided, and may not be generally applicable. I may not be vastly as experienced as a lot of people may have thought. So I say they will find me out one day. So what are the things people would leave out for the most part in fintech is people underestimate fraud. I'm still coming to the product design process, the core product design process, but people greatly underestimate fraud. And number two, people also equally overestimate your users' mental models. Like, you expect them to know most parts, but you are wrong. For most part, they don't know. We keep designing with our own blind spots and bias. And more recently, which is a terrible thing, designers are designing to impress another designer online. Or you are designing to prove that you can design. You are not designing to solve actual problems. You are designing. So you see some fancy approaches that people whose phones don't have IPZ density, it will come out like Oogie. Because when you were watching it, sorry, give me spap in Nigeria. When you were watching it on high pixel density interfaces. That's not how it will come out. All those multiple shadows won't show. So the major thing I know, if they leave out indefinitely, can lead to very terrible user experiences. When you do everything other than considering that you are trying to solve a problem primarily, and if you are in fintech, they are bad actors. Don't greatly underestimate fraud. Don't joke with fraud. There should be intentional friction introduced, one. And then number two, consider people using, like, try and use the app yourself. But the reason why I don't recommend that for most times is that we have blind spots. There's an inherent blind spot in every designer that affects how they design. So understand the people you are designing for. I mean, that's what I mean by know you're solving a problem. And then don't underestimate bad actors. If you're in fintech, if you are not in fintech, that part is enough. Just understand to a very granular level the people you are designing for, and over communicate in your design. Again, maybe that's inherited from fintech. Like, over communicate with what is going on with people's money. Over communicate. When something is loading, tell them it's loading. It may take additional time. Don't leave people hanging. When they click a button and it's unresponsive, account for that in your feedback loops, in your snack bars, in your toast. Let your toast be non-technical, be as easy to understand by a 5-year-old as possible. If you are error handling, when you are throwing back the error response, don't throw error 404. That's garbage out. Oh, sorry, there's no internet connection. Like, it should be as explicit, as clear, and as simple as possible. So non-technical, and understand your users for the most part. Like, if you don't understand them, you'll be doing something that will only impress another designer, but will not actually drive meaningful impact for the business.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. What are some common challenges that you've personally faced as a product designer?
I actually have a lot of. So when I'm looking at my ceiling like this, it's not because I don't have a challenge. I'm looking for the one I want to put out. I face a lot, but one stands out that I want to point out. It's something I've noticed that is recurrent, and it is that for product design, it's the impermanence of our work. It's challenging and equally demoralizing. It's the impermanence of the work we do. You know, everybody wants a work that is transgenerational, something that can outlive you, something that would always be there when you are no longer here, something that is a token of memorabilia. When people look at it, they'll be like, Leye designed that, Ufot designed that, Toby designed that. It's something you want to leave back, something like a legacy or some sort. But even while you are alive, 1 month after your work has been pushed out, 1, 2, 3 update has changed your dialogue. So, one of the greatest challenges I face on a very philosophical level is the impermanence of everything I do. I mean, the work you did last year, the company is no longer existing in the coming year. The work you did this year, a new designer has been brought on board has pushed better striking updates than what you did. The work they are calling to come and do tomorrow, it's very likely that it may not put through. Even if it pulls through, in the space of 2-3 months, maybe the company grows or they become better, or worst case they pack up, it's all gone. So it's the entire or one regulatory bottleneck, and they can't move forward, and they can't launch. It's the whole impermanence of the work. On a philosophical level, it's sometimes normalizing. That's why I said, if push comes to shove and this economy was since, I'll just go back to teaching. At least you can always point that I taught that boy. You can't take that away from me. I'm a teacher. So every teacher has a token of themselves in every other person they're able to communicate knowledge. But yeah, that's on a philosophical level. On the actual product design level, the challenges I face from time to time is disparity in context. So it depends on how you are working and who you are working with. If your client gives you full autonomy on the work, it's a problem most Nigerian designers face in fintech. You probably are just you are an execution section. Your idea is not necessarily needed. If your idea is needed, it is more or less in the execution part, not necessarily in the how it all fits together. So there are levels to it, there are layers to it. On a very low level approach, you are really not valued as much as you think, even down to flow sometimes. The flow has just been designed, you just go and put a skin on it. Sometimes it can be very, very demoralizing. I'm like, I think there can be a cleaner flow. I'm like, that flow. Go and work on it. So I think it's a very general thing among designers. I mean, we're used to it. It can be demoralizing, and that comes from how you work. So for most part, I've explained a lot to people that when you're working with, it's the same thing when you're working with a client. Is there a place where a client gives you full autonomy, creative authority on the design? And then there are instances when it is shared. The autonomy is shared, meaning that the creative authority is shared. You both go over it, think through it, present and defend, and explain why and why. And you'll be like, okay, I saw something like this. I'm thinking, I don't know how you can incorporate it. I acknowledge what you are saying. Yes, you can run with it. No, I don't think we should run with it though. Maybe review it first. So there are instances where it is shared, and there are instances where it's just instruction based. I do know what I want. I have done the flow. I have done the initial sketch. Just help me design it.
Yeah.
So those are like the three neat buckets I can put it into. For most part, all Nigerian designers are usually in that last bucket of we already know what we want. Go and execute. Yeah. So yeah, it can be very demoralizing because it takes away the whole excitement of trying things out. The only excitement you have is the excitement of changing the button style. Right? Yeah. Sometimes we want to go as far back as the flow, but again, it's not just the client or your boss or your director, but sometimes it's the technology you are stacking on does not have alternative. The technology you are using as that you are going to be using to power your products. I said when you go from A, you go to B, from B to C. You can't change that step because you don't have alternative. So you can only design another constraint. So that can be very demoralizing. But other than that, for the most part, every other thing is sort of flimsy. It's just deciding on the color hue, and the particular hue of the color, accounting for multiple device cases. But I don't think those are the things that makes it exciting, not necessarily demoralizing. The two key things that makes it demoralizing is, the amendment is the whole impermanence of what you are doing. It's here today, you can't find it tomorrow. You can't find it because the business will die, the business dies, because there's going to be an update. Someone will come out, at some point someone will come on board and do something else that you have done.
That's great. In a few minutes, I wanted to walk us through your design process. Right, come up with an imaginary brand. You can or we could use vegetable oil for the product, and walk us through a design process. Your design process.
Come again, sorry. I should walk you through a design process for.
Yes, for creating a product, and we could use vegetable oil as the product, or you could come up with an imaginary brand. But walk us through your design process and how you would be able to execute that design project.
Okay, so I'm using vegetable oil. Is that what you're saying? I can use something. Okay, vegetable oil. Now, when you say product, you mean are they ordering for the vegetable oil? Are they processing it? Or are they like a merchant who supply people? And then, so I want to. Are you going to niche it down for me, or I should niche?
Let's use they are wanting to order for vegetable oil.
That is fairly simple because it's more or less the same pattern, or that's the beauty about product design. A lot of things, there's an existing pattern that you can employ or import into a different product, and so it works. It's the same way you order food. So if you want to order for vegetable oil, it's the same way you order for food or order for groceries. Fun fact is I've designed something like that before, but not necessarily specific vegetable oil. So you would go on the store. So if I'm going to do it, I probably would jump straight into the design because I have an existing mental model for ordering things. So if I want to design a platform for ordering vegetable oil down to your house, there'll be a mobile device, there'll be a mobile app or a website. I think a mobile app would be better, where you would go online, go inside the app on the home page, and you see vegetable oil available. And if that's what they are always selling, and if they are very certain they will never run out of stock, then there's no need to put a number badge of whatever number of vegetable oil is available. And also the time that when the delivery can happen and when the delivery can't happen. So you go inside, place an order for vegetable oil. It depends if they have technology companies they want to stack on for giving them wallets. So people can actually have money on the platform that you can use to pay vegetable oil. It will reduce the friction of having to make payment because you already have money on the platform. So like a wallet for ordering vegetable oil. And then if you are coming for the first time, am I doing it end to end on my head, or I should just go to the core section of the product? End to end will take time. I should go end to end. End to end. Okay, so if you would sign up, the sign up needs to be seamless. Why? Because it's vegetable oil you are going to buy. So it needs to be seamless. And when I mean seamless, just your name, your email address for communication, promotion and all. And then you agree that you want to receive communication and promotion materials, you agree to that. You also give us your phone number. I mean, when anything has to do with delivery, it is always wise you have people's phone number. Collect the phone number, and those are like the basic thing that is needed. And then after that, you verify the phone number, verify the email too, to be sure that you are not collecting spurious data that is not validated. Validate it, so at least you know just having data has been poured into your database. After you do that, you come into the platform, and then we give you a walkthrough of everything that makes our vegetable oil different from everything other thing in the market. You can skip it. It can be dismissible information just to sort of reinforce you that you took the right decision. Or they can make a video. I mean, I might be overreaching, I might be overdoing things, but they can make a video of the process of filtering vegetable oil, or document it and make you know how we take a lot of effort to ensure that we produce this oil using best practices. Do you get it? After that, you see a card design showing you the oil or the various sizes of the vegetable oil. I would say various sizes of the vegetable oil just to populate the screen. If you don't do that, you can just put a big button at the base saying order, and when you click on order, then we ask you to select sizes. But I'll say put sizes from the get-go so that you can populate the screen. I mean, just buy space. So put sizes of vegetable oil available and the corresponding prices at the base. So after I do that, anyone they click on, and also one thing you can do, I mean, this for good sake, what you can do is tell them fast selling, which of these vegetable oil category are people buying the most. So you can put a tag on fast selling or quick movers, the one that is selling, and then you can also filter it out. People want to buy vegetable oil within a certain budget range, or you can they want to make a custom order. So it might not necessarily be that the vegetable oil they want to buy is all the ones listed. You can also account for that. So anyone they select, you click on continue, and then they select the number of that, the units, that vegetable. How many pieces do you want? Is it one? Is it two? Is it three? And then while they are doing that, when they click on OK, you show them the delivery costs that comes with it. If you have a physical store where they can come pick it up, yes, they can select that. Oh no, they are coming to pick it up. They are just paying. They are placing an order that they want to equally pay for, and then they place it. And then if it is still within the period that they have not closed, that is if your dashboard or your admin dashboard allows for automated email responses, which it should, like that. So the next business day, if it is not within a week, if it's within a weekend, or the next business day is when you come and pick it up, just come with the printed receipt that is going to be generated and sent to your email. Do you get it? Or that you can download after payment, and then come and pick up your oil. Or if it is that the person is making an order for delivery, you tell them that within the next business day, if they are not getting that same day, except they work on weekends, they will get it within the next business day, or they'll get it the next that same day if it works. So they click on, I've gone too far, let me come back to where I was. So when they want to place the order, they click on pay, and so they can pay with a wallet on the platform. That's if the platform has a wallet. If the platform doesn't have a wallet, then it means that they have a payment gateway partner. It could be FloridaWave, it could be Paystack, it could be GT, it could be Access, any of these gateway partners. They partner with them, and then you can pay with card, pay with bank transfer, and all. I mean, that's the technology side of the partner, not on our side. So after payment has been done, you generate receipt and you come and pick it up within a stipulated period. Whether or not if the person likes it, I don't think anybody should. You'll be hurting your business when you start to put penalty for late pickup. So they can come and pick it up whenever they want. So that's where packaging comes in and branding comes in. A physical, a token of the business that can be interacted with. So you put a barcode around whatever nylon or whatever paper bag they are putting it in. So with anybody scanning that barcode can download the app and also place order on it. And then I don't know, but from the app, you're also going to encourage people to give rating after they make their purchase, and then it is done. They also have to check that they have picked it up. Like you have to click on it that order has been picked up. Admin is going to check it on the end. You also are going to check it on your head. That's just to ensure that there's no fraud going on. Workers are not taking orders that have not been picked up in good time. So you acknowledge that picked up your order, and then after that, you should trigger a rating system that how would you rate your experience? That's help us refine the product. What were the frictions you experienced? What were the problems you experienced? Feedback, good or bad, let us know. And the product is further refined from there. And then there's always there will be nudge from time to time to allow for push notifications. So Black Friday deals, instances where we just got a new supplier for our raw materials for oil, and so oil is going to be cheaper. You can place an order ahead of time and things like that. So yes, push notification should be required of that, but it doesn't have to be yellow, sir. I mean, from the core product design, it doesn't have to be yellow buttons, but you can make yellow buttons if you want. I'm just saying that when it comes to core product design, it can be pure black, can be any color other than granite oil color or palm oil color. It can be any other color other than that. Yeah, but that's how my normal walkthrough will look like. I would itemize the flow out if I'm to design it. I probably jump on design. The flow is already like
I'll definitely be looking forward to it. Definitely be looking forward to it. Definitely. This is brilliant. I really enjoyed the flow, the process, everything. I was trying to visually see it in my head, and it was seamless. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Lastly, I want you to briefly talk about A/B testing process with respect to product design.
So, A/B testing process is when you have two contending designs or two contending solutions, but you want to know which one fits best. Let me say it again. Two probable solutions, but which one fits best, or which one fits better? Actually, there are two. So which one fits better? You don't do A/B testing on things and when that one is clearly wrong and the other is clearly right. That's not A/B testing. So they are probable in the sense that we are trying to validate or see. It could be either ways. When you think the answer is A, but you are not too sure, put it in front of the users. Let's see which one they engage with the most. So you are trying to find out something. You are trying to confirm something, or you are trying to see if it works. So you have two probable responses, or two probable solutions. You want to see which one fits better. So for example, and sometimes you do A/B tests for areas where you don't have context, or where there are gray areas where context is completely lacking. Let the user decide the direction. And it's one funny way to end contention, by the way, especially among departments in an organization. So, or in inter-department and intra-department. So, I remember we did A/B testing on something the other time. It was using a button text, or just a button. A text that is hyperlinked. This text with blue color.
Yes.
Or just actually putting a button there. That which one is it likely that people are going to click the most, or which one is it that people will engage the most? And we realized that we did not get meaningful solution at the end of the day because people clicked it. What am I saying in essence? Because they have no alternative. I'm saying this to explain why your A/B testing has to be done properly. If not, it's like doing research and asking leading questions. Leading questions, I'm coming. I'll still come back to explain the thing. I just want to explain how sometimes you can do A/B testing and it will be wrong. Leading questions in the sense that I can say, how much do you save every month? Saving is a virtue. Even if you don't save, but because I have led you on with the question, how much do you save? You will give me an answer. Even if you don't save. That's why you don't ask leading questions in research. So if I want to know how much you save, and I genuinely want to now ask you, how do you spend your income? It is now you that will tell me that, you spend on A, B, C, and save the rest. Or you tell me, I blew everything on so and so, and I loan money from Ufot before the month ends. So that way I get to know people who actually save. So leading questions sort of let the user know the intent, the intent where the question is going. And the danger about that is that you keep getting responses they want to give you. Sorry, you'll be getting responses they think you want. Sorry, not the one you actually need to do a thorough and authentic research. So it's the same way you do A/B testing. If you do A/B testing around the button and say you want to know the one people click the most, or the one people are likely to click, and that A/B testing is not aligned for an alternative. So if I want to make payment and I only see a blue text, I know that's the only thing I can click to make the payment. I'm going to click it. I have no alternative. Because I am left with no option. So if you put it within two markets, the two markets are going to click it. So if you want to do A/B testing, for the most part, you don't segregate your users. Within the same app, you create an alternative and see which one they click on the most. Or You create instances of actions they are likely to do regularly, 2 actions they are likely to take regularly, and spread the options among those 2. Am I confusing you? Okay, so
No, I'm following.
I know users fund and withdraw a lot. And I say, okay, probably 50-50 is the actual activity rate of funding and withdrawal. But I want to see the likelihood that if I make the button for withdrawal obvious, like if I use just an icon for withdrawal without adding text, will that make people withdraw more? Okay, so I'll add, let's say first month, I'm going to add a text to funding. So I'll put a plus sign and I'll say funding. And when it comes to withdrawal, I'll just put a minus sign, subtract sign, put it beside it for the first month and see how people respond. Then the second month, I'll switch it. I'll put a withdrawal symbol, a withdrawal text beside the subtract sign and then just put a plus sign and see how supporting an icon with a text, especially on critical activities like funding and withdrawal, does it affect it? So that is it. I would consider that a more genuine A/B testing because the same users, the same high intensity activity that they will both engage with, how do they react to it? But if I now say that no, that I'm going to put just a plus sign for users in Obalindi and then users in Ogbomosho, I will just put a plus sign and a withdraw. Those 2 users, if you get whatever response you are getting from both, you cannot call it genuine. Why? And you can't compare because they don't have an alternative. It's not as though the same users are going to see a text beside the subtract sign. Am I confusing you?
Yeah, I think I'm following.
So, in a simpler sense, if you are going to do A/B testing, for the most times, try to focus on the same user base. Then try a pattern in a period A, try the same pattern in period B, a different pattern in period B, but we still use the same audience. See how they react. You probably get a genuine response than when you try it with different audience using different pattern. Except if again you are not going to change that pattern for those 2 audience. Completely. So you now have something to compare within the same audience, not 2 different things with 2 different audience. Am I confusing you? No, I'm not.
I'm following.
Thank you for following, but not fully understanding. But I hope sort of.
Yeah, not fully.
Should I go at it again? Explain in a very simple form.
Yes.
Yes, please. In a very simple form, Toby.
Yeah.
I want to say which color would both of you work with the most? Do you get it? And then I now say I show Toby blue. I show Ufot red. But my application is a key application. You need it for daily activities. You both are using it. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
And I say, which person used it the most? Which activity on which part became less? My answer may be erratic. It might not be genuine. It might be spurious data. Why? Because if I now want to do proper A/B testing for Ufot, I have to now change this from blue now to whatever other color I have, to probably green or red. Change it for him to then you take historical data. How did he respond to red? How did he now respond to blue? Not how did Ufot respond to red? How did Toby respond to blue? The target audience are different. Do you get what I'm saying now?
Yes.
You can say, that works only if. Now, for large organization, it might not apply. It might apply. I mean, if you have if you have 300,000 user base, you can give them 2 different apps. But even at that, I'll strongly suggest January give them blue, February give them green. See how they respond. So A/B testing sometimes is not something that runs concurrently. Sometimes it's something that runs at different points in time. But people are not knowing that they're actually A/B testing things at different points in time. They get to see how people respond to it before they make their decision. So if I give Ufot red January, February I'll give him blue. Let me see how he responds to both. If Ufot now complain, no, give me red back. Give me that red back. Now you have actual data to work with. But if I give him red and he has not experienced anything other than that red after that red, what am I? But I give Toby blue. Toby has not experienced anything other than that blue.
Other than the blue.
Than the blue. What am I benchmarking his reaction against? Is it less confusing now?
Yes.
So it's a blind spot
yes,
a lot of people take when they do A/B testing. It's a very blind spot like people do when they do A/B testing.
I really think we should actually open a design university where Leye is actually going to be a professor because he's loaded.
You are sounding like all those boys that gas up mid designs online. Like, bro, after God and now you, this is flame.
No. There's none like you.
This is flame, like bro. Only God gets that to do. Everybody is replaceable.
This very section is the fun part of the podcast, and I like it. So basically, Leye, we are going to be asking this or that, and you'll be choosing, one of either. Anyone. Netflix or Prime?
Netflix. Prime is overrated, my boy. Yeah. They just take one good movie and run mad advert with it. Netflix.
Behance or Pinterest?
Pinterest. Any day, anytime. I'm sorry, bro.
Behance and Pinterest.
I'm sorry, Adobe. Even if you will collect my money every month.
Marvel or DC?
That was very close. I'm a big fan of Disney. Fun fact is I don't like Bollywood because of the music, but I like Disney because of the music. The old colors, the splash of colors, the emotive characters, and I like Marvel because of the actions, the fight, even when sometimes it is very, very unnatural, overrated and lacking in story and all stuff. Disney.
Disney.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Android or iPhone?
I'm sorry. I know. Like I'm an adult, but yeah, Disney or anime. They are two different things. But I saw that before the animals bro start coming for me, that how can I compare this and anime? But I mean,
Android or iPhone?
In all sincerity, Android. But I mean the Apple Apple ecosystem, but Android.
Yeah.
I believe in the Android supremacy, but for the sake of efficiency and where we are currently in the whole journey, I'm in the Apple ecosystem. But if you ask me on the long run, yes, Android. I mean, I use both, but Android.
Ang or Quora?
See, if they drug me, I will still answer that question. You saw Ang.
Okay.
I mean, someone did justice to her. Someone said she was an opportunist who was able to use she was just someone who was available to use the avatar state. That she's a fraud. Typical fraud. Ang.
Mouse or trackpad?
Go for that. That one is not good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, if you want to claim senior designer, at least senior, have a mouse. If anybody want to brag senior design, if you don't have a mouse, I don't even think your design toolkit is ready. You had this coming by G. No, but generally a mouse, for health's sake, your trackpad puts you close to your laptop, and that's why most people can't do without blue light filter. That proximity is too much. I mean, you're using a trackpad, but you can afford to stay back, hold your mouse, and design. You can't do that with your trackpad. So even banter aside, I strongly recommend the mouse. Plus, there are some design softwares that are better handled. I mean, if you want to use your Blender with mouse, with trackpad, there are some design software that, because of the precision touch, I strongly suggest a mouse. Plus, a mouse gives you something to hold. I don't know. Like, but no, Alasha. But yeah, I answered. Mouse.
Leye is currently a guest on this podcast, so let's
no violence shall be permitted
for now. Yes, no violence. No violence shall be permitted.
Yeah.
Leye, tell us a design joke.
That caught me off guard. All the ones in my head are the popular design joke. I want to tell a design joke that I stole on the internet before I went on my digital detox. I'm going to say it, and I don't care. I'm shameless. So I took a photo of someone at the shop. So when she asked me for a photo, I told her it is still at Photoshop. I messed up again. That photo is in Photoshop. It's in Photoshop. It's still at the Photoshop or something.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was sleek.
Yes,
that was sleek.
It has to be
That was
sleek.
sleek.
The owner is listening. It has to be sleek.
That was sleek. Thank you very much, Leye, for being on the podcast. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Design plus illustration equals Designstration.